Hey everyone, this is Jenny Garcia and this is going to be my book journal flip through. This is mini book number 2. I also have number 1 and I have the flip through on my YouTube channel, and for the second book I have all the pages, the process. It's on my YouTube channel too. It's gonna be in a playlist, and these books are from Everyday Explorers. They are from the mini book makers club kit, but you can also get the mini book by itself, and they are 4x6. In both I use the currently seals to stamp the currently reading stamps. I love both. I love the contrast of black against the craft, and I love colorful too. This one in the middle is it's another stamp from one of the mini book makers club kit, and I'm gonna list all the items that I can find below. A few of them are gonna be affiliate links. You don't have to use them, but they do help a lot. And I kept it very simple. I use a background paper from Humble and Create, and I use Epson presentation paper. The quality is similar to photo paper, but it's a lot thinner, so it's a lot less bulky. The washi tape that I use is from Calico. I don't know if you can see it very well. These stickers are from Pip Sticks, and they're called bestseller. A bunch of these are not going to be available, but sometimes if you like, a lot of people request them, they'll do a reprint. This sticker is, yeah, from Moonloom. And I made this for a Citrus Twist Kids project, and in a few of them there are other stickers that says graphic novels. Like this one I did, and it's available on my Patreon. I have the file and I have the cut file too if you have a silhouette, and I put the little review inside with the book review sticker, and those are digital stamps from Everyday Explorers, and I have the actual stamp right here, and you can see it's a lot bigger. So what I did was I got the digital version and I made a bunch of these, so now I don't have to make them ever again. One thing that I want to do a whole page of these book club selection or book club pick choice, all of those, because last year I read a lot with my book club, and thanks to them I got such a high number. I read 70 books total last year, and so I used a bunch of those. That month we read 3. The best book I read was this one, Dancing at the Pity Party, and it was a graphic novel about a girl coping with her mom's passing, and it was really sad but really beautiful. All the products are from Citrus Twist Kids, including these alphas and the red stamp. This was August, and I'm gonna have more than one spread for August. This sadly got like stuck together, and I like that I was able to add this reading list stamp, and that stamp is from Syncopation, and it's this one, and it's called Let's Get Lit, and these are 6x8. These are big boy stamps. And I have these two, and I also have the digital version of these with the with all the book genres, and then we have this one, book pick, which you'll see in this mini book 2. I just love both. They're pretty awesome. And here I use a digital collection also called Let's Get Lit by Syncopation. So I was able to print this girl in a few sizes, and that was really fun. We also read, as you can see here, Book Club Pick. This collection also has elements that you can turn into stickers. Like here, and one fun thing to do with PNGs is that you can change the color. So that's why I changed the color of the girl's hair just to fit mine. And I keep these notes on my phone in the notes app. That way when I'm ready to work on the page, all I gotta do is look for it and print it. Because if I go back, this is from last year and it's July, I probably won't remember as much. These books were both really good. And I remember the books, but there were specific stories and things that maybe if I don't write them down, I would forget. And this is another August spread, and all the books were book club picks. So these four actually. So that's what I put it next to August. And these little girls are, that's not stamp set. That sticker sheet is called Ex Libris. And I've used a lot of it. I think it's, I don't know if it's retired. I think it is. But Malala was an amazing book. I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter was one of my favorites in the whole year. It's easily out top 3. And then we got Night by Elie Wiesel, which it was so sad. And The Boy in the Striped Pajamas also really, really, really sad. And here I didn't put anything in the background, and you can barely see the background because I added so many elements and so many die cuts. This is a third one from August, and I was just documenting a few graphic novels that I read, and I read the some of the Avatar The Last Airbender graphic novels, including Toph Beifong's Metal Bending Academy, Suki Alone, and Katara and the Pirate Silver. The best one was Suki Alone. If you haven't read these novels and you're an Avatar fan, I absolutely recommend that you do, especially The Search and The Promise. This one was, it was so sad. It was, if you're a fan of the series, it's about how Suki came to be in jail and how she was lonely when she was there, and she almost lost faith, and Kyoshi appeared to her, and then she was rescued by Sokka and Zuko. That was really fun. This one was so bright and so fun. I used products from Damask Love, and as always, my little goodness, the book rating stickers. This is also from the ones I made, and I love these bookmark stickers, and it's called On Your Mark, and I've used so many of them. I only have these left. These are extra die cuts that I have from the Let's Get Lit collection, and I use the stickers that said Book Club Pick. And the best book that I read that month was I'm Glad My Mom Died, and a lot of people hate that title, but which is like you're judging a book by its cover basically. But there's a reason why she said that. She found that she was finally free. Her mom was really abusive. It caused her to develop a very, very serious eating disorder. It's very hard to stomach. If you don't like sad books, just stay away from it, because every person in her life failed her. And for book club, September through, like, from September 15 to October 15 is Latin Heritage Month. So we read a few books from Latin America, including La Casa in Mango Street, Olga Dice Dreaming, and Mexican Gothic. And actually, I also think that I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter was part of that group. Yes. And then we added La Casa in Mango Street. Like, yeah, if we have time, we'll read a fourth one. And so that one was my favorite. I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter. My least favorite was Olga Dice Dreaming, because it's about a lady who has Puerto Rican heritage, and the way she talks about Hurricane Maria was disgusting and horrible. And you know, when you listen to a tragedy and you're like, oh, I can totally get that, I can write a book about that, and then you butcher the whole thing. That's what that book was. I have a friend, my other book club teammate, compared it to American Dirt. It's when you remove from a situation that it's as hard as Maria was on Puerto Rico, it's difficult to tell a realistic, story. And then I read two scary books. I read Grimoire Noir, which my daughter recommended to me. It's a graphic novel and it's creepy, but it's really cute and it's so clever. I don't know how to talk about it without spoiling. Well, the house is haunted. It's really good. The illustrations are amazing. Mexican Gothic, as you can see here, I have the book club pick little sticker. It was very well written. I just don't like the horror genre because it's overly descriptive. And at the end, it wasn't as spooky as I wanted it to be. I understand if people can't want to give this book a 5 stars, because there are books that are bad books that maybe people like, but in my opinion, they don't deserve to be 5 stars. And then there are books that I give them 2 or 3 stars, but it's because of me. But they're very well written. They have a good story. I hated the ending and how overly descriptive it was. I love making this because I was able to do like a mixed media background and use ink and paint. And even though my little ghost got a little dirty, I don't mind at all. It's really fun. And these are the creepy books that I read in October. And for the book club, we read Interview with the Vampire, and on my own, I read The Crucible. Didn't care for The Crucible. I don't mind. I know that it's like a classic that people read for Halloween, and there is, historical significance. I get it. Again, it's another thing that it's more me than it's a poor written story. I'm not gonna defend it as much as I defended Mexican Gothic, because Mexican Gothic had some lines that like I had to read more than once because they were so beautiful and I love them so much. Interview with the Vampire, it was really good, and I also watched the movie after it to compare it. And the book did have the movie actually did a good job. I can't complain about it. And I really enjoyed the book. And I know that there's like 15 of this Vampire Chronicles from Anne Rice. But I don't know if I'm gonna read them. This is a die cut that I had in my stash. These alphas are from Freckle Fawn. They're very old, and the paper and the one from September, they're both from Pretty Little Studio and their Goosebumps collection. And we have October, and this is more paper from Humble and Create, and the die cuts are from Humble and Create too. The alphas are from Studio Calico, and these backgrounds on the books are from Me and My Big Ideas, one of these sticker packs. I didn't use them as much, and then I suddenly got the idea to just use these as backgrounds for the books, and I might get to use them more because I don't decorate my planner that much, so I might get to use them in my project life. And I read The Dawn of Yang Chen, which was really disappointing because the Kyoshi novels were so good. The book is not even about Yang Chen. I'm still mad about it. In November, as I got closer to the holidays, I started reading less. I was, anxious and tired all the time. So the book club pick was Fire and Blood, which was really good. And if you compare it to the show, I wish they would have started from right at the beginning, because it's written like a history book and it tells you all about the families that existed up until the actual Game of Thrones show, or a little bit before that. And it was so good. They had so many interesting families and characters, and I can't believe they went with that family in particular. I mean, they can always go back and start from the beginning, but there were a lot of families that were more interesting than them, but it's what it is. And these pages and papers are from the Cot Shop. I read Because of Winn-Dixie with my daughter. It was sad, but it was a good story. I also read one with the rabbit. Edward Dulaine is the name. Something like that, but I think that I didn't read the whole thing. There were like a few pages that she read by herself, so I didn't count that towards my goal. How Not to Drown in a Glass of Water. I listened to the audiobook, and I liked it. Like, the lady was very annoying in a very realistic way. Like, I've met people like her, and it was funny in a lot of parts, but it was also very infuriating. It's one of those books that I say you have to read it on your own to come up with your conclusion. And we have December, the last one. I only read 2 books. I wanted to read more holiday related books, but I didn't get the chance to. I read Love Light Farms, which was sweet. It was like a Hallmark book. Friends to Lovers. All romance novels have tropes, and I'm not a big fan of romance novels, so that should be a good thing, the fact that I actually liked it. And I read Five Survive by Holly Jackson, who also wrote A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And I think this book has a sequel. Have to look for it. And as always, have my journaling, some washi tape. These are items from Studio Calico. And then I have my 2022 stats. And these I got from the app Storygraph. Storygraph is kind of weird to use. I wish it, I don't know why I just go directly to Goodreads and then I forget that I have Storygraph. And it's very particular about logging their books, and you can only do like a transfer from Goodreads to Storygraph, sorry, once. If you do it twice, it will duplicate the books. You have to delete the whole thing, and then it's very time consuming and annoying. I might do it at the end of the year because I do love the stats. Like, the genres I read, my top 3 were young adult, fantasy, and LGBTQIA+. In my least 3 are biography, crime, and health. What was health? Oh, probably the book about Jane and the Chernow study. And the moods, my biggest mood apparently is emotional and reflective and dark. And then the smallest one is inspiring, and I just don't like self-help books. If they work for you, awesome. It's just that all I do is roll my eyes. And I know that's a horrible thing to say, but some of them are like, they have like very basic, generic advice. Like, trust yourself. And I'm like, thank you. Like, who knew? Like, I could do that. That was very profound of you. The background is from Resting Book Face, from Syncopation. These die cuts are from In a Creative Bubble. Then we have one of the bookmarks. And this is, the items are from Citrus Twist Kits. I hope these don't come off in the long run because they are like a little curved because it's a super chunky album. And here it just tells you your page number, stats, and I read, okay, so you have more than 500, less than 300, and 300 to 500, which is, it was my 50, so 51% of the books I read. Then we have fiction and nonfiction, and 28% of the books I read were nonfiction. And the pace, most of the books I read, the pace was medium at 52%. I tried to do these A to C reading challenge, but it was like, first of all, I started late. So all I did was like fill a few that like I already read, and then I tried to read a few extra, like Olga Dice Streaming ended up being something that I was excited to read it because then I got an O. That's pretty awesome. Vox and Jiangsheng. But I was missing P, Q, and R and Z. So kind of failed. And I don't want to do it again. It was fun, but I don't want to do it again. And also I was able to get so many because I read so many books. I did a little journaling about my favorite book and the worst book that I thought I read. And my favorite one was Dry. It was just, Neil Shusterman is an amazing writer, and his the other writer is Jared Shusterman, which is his son. This story, first of all, it doesn't look like two people wrote it. They are so in sync that like I was desperate. And I wrote here, like, I couldn't stop reading the book because I felt like if I didn't, like, finish, the characters were gonna die. Like, you were in a... If you take books to heart too much, maybe that's not the one that you need because you'll be, like, in a state of panic and you'll be nervous about water. And, like, I wanted to hoard water, like, 5 pages in. And it made me... I felt all the emotions. Like, I was mad, I was surprised. It's an amazing book. And Let's Call It a Doomsday was the absolute opposite. The story was a nothing burger, and it was just so bad. The writing was terrible. The end of the story, there's no doomsday, okay? I'm sorry that I spoiled that. I want to take that back. But it's out there, sorry. I already said it. I'm not gonna repeat it. But it was just disappointing. The end was disappointing. The characters were so freaking stupid. There was not one of them that I liked. Not a single character. And you know how you hate a character? Like in Joy, there's a character that I hate because he's the worst. But I love to hate that character because the way it's written, it's like you want to punch the dude. And these were just like... They were stupid. Yeah, and here I just put my reading challenge, which I kept like moving up. As soon as I almost got, like, I think at first it was like 25 or 15, and then I kept like moving the number, and that was very nice. And that's what I'm doing this year. I don't think I'm going to like the number's gonna go up because right now my challenge is 25, and I'm still like in 18, and it's July, but we never know. I had COVID at the beginning of the year, and it did horrible things to my brain. It was bad. These stamps are from Everyday Explorers, and I kept it very simple to journal. I use a fountain pen from Preppy, and I got this in a stationery store, and I love it, but I have to write a little bit slower, and also sometimes when it would start to like the ink get like very low, you put on the cap and you tap it like twice, and that's why there's a few parts where it started like gushing a little bit. Maybe I should have like scribbled on a piece of paper to avoid that. And that's what I use for the beginning and end of my book journal. And again, this is paper from Humble and Create, and the sticker is from Moon Loom and Citrus Twist Kit. No, sorry. And Pip Sticks and Studio Calico washi tape and the label. And I am so happy with this project. I love it, and it was a lot of fun to do, and I was able to like keep a lot of the information because I was like actively journaling about it and being a little more conscious of what I was listening to. And it was a lot of fun. I can't pick which one I like the best, but I do have a few spreads that I like more, and I love adding the stats. Honestly, I added them because I had extra pages and it felt weird to leave those out, but I'm so happy I added those. Those are very cool, and it also makes me a little bit more aware that maybe I want to expand my horizons when reading. So let me know if you have any questions, any book recommendations. As long as it's not self-help, I will give it a try. I'll try to find it. Also, if you don't know it, if you have a library card, you can use Hoopla and Libby to read ebooks for free and also listen to audiobooks. So something that you might want to look in. And part of the reason that I was able to read this many books is that a bunch of them were audiobooks. So while I clean, while I cook, when I'm doing something else, I would put on an audiobook and just get my work done, and that helped a lot. So let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're having an awesome day. Bye.